Adios TDA and MS-13. President Donald Trump has deported over 250 gang-banging thugs to El Salvador. Let's check it out.
Hours after President Trump invoked an 18th century wartime law, alleged members of Venezuela's prison gang Tren de Aragua arriving in El Salvador. The Salvadorian president sharing this dramatic video on X depicting TDA and MS-13 gang members hauled off into a plane, thrown into a bus, and then their heads shaved as they're now being held in an infamous terrorism confinement center. A senior Trump administration official telling News Nation in total 261 illegal aliens were deported to El Salvador, of which 137 were deported using that Alien Enemies Act. The timing comes as a federal judge actually blocked deportation flights after Trump invoked that law.
You know, the optics of this is very good because you see these thugs being hauled off an airplane, you know, thrown onto a bus in handcuffs, their heads getting shaved and their faces getting shaved. This is very good. It sends a very strong message. So I think the American people will love this. The people of El Salvador will love this. And that you're not going to come over here and wreak havoc in this country. Or you're not going to come over there either and do the same thing.
Law from 1798. But the Trump administration is firing back now, saying it did not violate that ruling because the planes were already in international airspace. News Nation's Jorge Ventura live in San Diego with what we're learning about those deportations at this hour. Jorge.
Well, Alex, a senior Trump administration official confirming to News Nation that the rap sheets of those illegal aliens deported to El Salvador yesterday do include kidnapping, sexual abuse of a child, robbery, and aggravated assault on a police officer. Now, according to El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, the country will be receiving 238 suspected Tren de Aragua gang members and 23 suspected MS-13 gang members who were immediately transferred to the country's mega prison.
Footage from El Salvador's government shows a high-security transfer with shackled prisoners stumbling forward as heavily armed officers push them along. The wrists, ankles, and waist are tightly bound, forcing them to show in short, restricted steps. On the tarmac, riot police stand shoulder to shoulder, gripping their batons as helicopters hover overhead, scanning for any disturbances. The men are loaded one by one onto special units and military buses, their heads forced down as officers keep them under strict control. Sirens blare as a convoy of armored vehicles, escorted by special forces, transport them straight to the notorious Seaside mega prison, the same facility where El Salvador's government has locked up tens of thousands of gang members in recent years. Inside the prison walls, the men have their heads shaved in assembly line fashion, while guards
they should have left their hair like this. Make them look even more stupid. Just shave the middle part of their head and then leave the rest of it around. That would have been funny. But this is great. You get no edge up, you get nothing. You just get a straight zero guard. No guard, just shaved bald. Nothing. No facial hair. I love this. So, yeah, this is great. You're showing a show of force. This is good.
stand over them, barking orders. Cameras capture the moment they're wearing white prison uniforms before being marched, hands behind their backs, into tightly packed holding cells. Back in Washington, D.C., a federal judge ruled that deporting migrants without due process violated long-standing U.S. asylum protections. The White House pushing back, saying they didn't violate a court order. Quote, "The order came too late, and illegals were already in international airspace." The El Salvadoran president posting, "Oopsie, too late." His government confirming the inmates will remain in El Salvador with no plans to return them to the U.S. U.S. officials are backing the move. Secretary Marco Rubio called it a fair price for American taxpayers.
And for those 137 illegal aliens deported under the Aliens Enemy Act, that does allow the U.S. government to deport those individuals without trial, Alex.
Jorge, we're also following up on the USS Gravely. That's that guided missile destroyer deployed yesterday to the U.S. Northern Command Area of Responsibility. That marks a major shift in border security efforts. What's the latest that you're hearing on this deployment, and what can you tell us about the broader strategy to secure that border using that destroyer?
Well, Alex, this comes as the U.S. military continues to expand their role when it comes to border security under the Trump administration. Now, the USS Gravely did depart yesterday from the Naval Weapons Station Yorktown. It is headed to the U.S. territorial waters covering continental U.S., Alaska, Canada, and Mexico. Now, the goal here is to counter the illegal immigration, weapons trafficking, and transnational crime.
Man, Trump is not playing around. Look, he's not messing around. Now we're sending U.S. destroyers to the southern border to intercept any illegal activity. This is how it's done. And this is a stark difference from what it was from 2021 to the end of Biden's term. This is what we voted for. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Look, Trump did a great job in his first term on the border, but now he doesn't give a dang at this point. He's quietly doing things before a judge can say anything, getting these thugs, game-banging thugs out of here, which makes everybody safer, including that judge. So that's 261 people in this country that have been removed that are wreaking havoc on our communities.
Crime in U.S. waters, according to U.S. Northern Command. U.S. Northern Command Commander General also says this deployment does support President Trump's executive order on straightening the border and enforcement at sea. The Department of Defense calls this a major shift, giving the U.S. Navy a direct role in preventing crime before it reaches American shores.
By land and sea, securing the border. That's News Nation's Jorge Ventura. Thank you.
That is how it's done. So I want to go through some more of these pictures that these gangbangers sent to El Salvador's mega prison. As you see them being hauled into the jail, into the prison, all wearing all white, bald heads, no facial hair, heads down. This is fantastic stuff. So shout out to these guys here doing a great job. You're doing great work, by the way. But look, they're not so tough after all. I mean, it's funny to see these thugs. Look, I know liberals may get offended by that, by calling these animals thugs or even calling them animals. That's actually an insult to animals. But it's funny how they don't look so tough now. They look humiliated. They're in handcuffs, surrounded by guards and batons and cameras. They have no access to the outside world. I know Tucker Carlson made a comment saying he doesn't agree with stuff like this. I don't know what his solution would be. He says he prefers executing. He prefer that over stuff like this, separating humans from nature. Look, I'd like to know more why he said that, where he stands on that. But what else are we supposed to do with these? We have to send a strong message. Get these people away from society. They don't belong anywhere near a civilized community. Yeah, shaving their heads. I'll go down there and shave some heads. It's, pay me some money. Give me a cut, man. Give me a cut of where you're paying El Salvador, and I'll go ahead and shave these heads for you. Yeah, look, these thugs are humiliated now. You're never going to see the light of day again. At least I don't think so. I don't know what's going to happen after as far as what they're going to get, as far as prison sentences or things like that. But I'm so happy to see this because this is what the American people wanted. They wanted to see people expelled from our country. And I want to see the people in Central and South America safe as well. So this only benefits, it doesn't only benefit us, it benefits El Salvador because they're getting some money, we're paying them to house these people. And then this benefits Venezuela because this prison gang is going to be broken up. This gang TDA was started in prison, and it is going to be broken up, and they won't be able to become, they won't grow up to be bigger than MS-13. At least I don't think, I hope not. At least I don't think they will. The rate this is going, the way they're cracking down on this, they won't last much longer. And this is how you keep the community safe. This is how you keep your nation safe, and this is how you keep the riffraff out of your country. You send a strong message, and the rest of the world will see. So this is very good news, and I just wanted to share that story with you. This is what we voted for. This is what Donald Trump campaigned on, one of the things he campaigned on. And it's like we're getting Christmas presents every single day with this border thing. You know, the border is to me the biggest issue, because you can completely change a nation, the face of a nation, by having a wide open border, by having millions of people come across the country, sneaking across the border, because you can bring in more crime, because you don't know who's coming across. And then you just change the whole identity of a country, versus doing it the right way and having people who actually want to obey the laws come here. So I love what I'm seeing. Shout out to President Trump. Great job. And the president of El Salvador, doing great work. I'm going to leave there right there. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.